Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. The Movie Film Podcast, enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.
Welcome to Movie Film. This is episode 169, brought to you by Mr. Boy Productions. My name is Zachy Hassan, and I'm here with Brian Hall.
Hey, how's it going, Zachy?
It's going. What's you sound busy over there.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Is there business going on?
I don't know. Is there?
Actually, yes. I think I don't know if I talked about this on the episode, but we keep track of times and things as we go along, and Zachy always calls out like, "Okay, we're starting at 8 minutes to help me with editing," and I never, ever, ever have a pen and pad of paper ready to write that down. So I was shuffling. That's probably what it was. I was shuffling for the pen over here, like.
So, Brian, a week ago, I was. In Michigan, doing a live recording of my my other podcast, Diffuse Congruence.
That's right. I want to hear all about you. We haven't really talked about this. I want to hear about it.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. So I host this show called Diffuse Congruence, the American Muslim Experience, with my partner Pervez Ahmed, who has been on this show at least once, and the University of Michigan Muslim Students Association flew us out to do a live podcast from their campus.
Wow, what was that like?
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. You know, we took a red eye into Michigan, which is the first time I've ever done that, and if I have any say, it will be the last time I ever do that.
I know so many people swear by this.
Ugh.
It sounds miserable to me. I feel like your whole equilibrium would be thrown off.
It was awful. And you know, we flew to Phoenix, and then there was like a 2-hour stop, and then, you know, it was like 11 o'clock flying out of Phoenix to Detroit, and then, you know, you lose 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, even though it's like a 4-hour flight, by the time you get there, it's like 5 a.m. And the woman sitting next to me was just sawing logs. And so I didn't get any sleep. So I was miserable for that entire experience. And I'm like, well, this is just awful. Like there's no redeeming value in red eye flying. That's what I came to the conclusion of.
Yeah, I mean, I get if you can sleep on a plane and it's long enough and you can hit the ground running, but I just don't feel like that's something my body would do. I'm
too old to not be able to have my sleep. That's what I've realized.
Yeah.
It's funny because we got there and it was a busy day, you know, Friday, and this show was in Friday evening, and I'm telling Pervez, and Pervez is going to be listening to this, so I feel comfortable saying this. I'm like, man, I'm really tired. I just want to like sack out for a couple minutes and just get caught up. And he's like, I don't get you, man. Like, how do you, you got to just be able to go. And I'm like, I mean, I'm not saying I want to sleep for 15 hours. I'm saying I require the normal human amount of sleep. Yes, I can't function on 3 hours of sleep, you know?
Oh, man. I wish I was like that. I know I have friends in my life who are like that, like Parvez, and I just wish I had those reserve batteries.
I crash hard if I don't get... I mean, I don't know. What's your threshold? I feel like I need at least 6, otherwise I'm basically worthless.
It entirely depends. I have this, unfortunately, something that my parents thought I would grow out of is being a night person.
Okay.
They're like, oh, you know, he sleeps in, and he'll grow out of it. But I never really did. Like I'm just a night person. That's when my brain kind of switches on, and I tend to stay up pretty late. But I get up also for work the next day and whatnot. So I do somehow get by on less sleep than I probably should. But
yeah, that's gonna catch up with you.
Yeah. And I just hope you aren't around to see it.
Well, it'll happen on mic, and it'll be like
yes.
But you know, it's fun. So after Michigan, we drove over to Chicago because it's like a 4-hour drive, and I was like, you know, quick 48-hour trip. I can see some family and stuff, and a couple of things. This is amusing to me anyway. You know, one thing I've been trying to do over the last several years is collate and get all of my movie reviews that I've ever written collected into one place. So I've been typing them up, you know, if I wrote them in my high school paper or my college paper or whatever, and just get them all typed up, you know, on my website and then up to Rotten Tomatoes, so that I have as complete as possible a record of all my reviews, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at College of DuPage, which is where I went to community college, you went there too, I was an editor for 1 year, right? So I had 1 year where I did a bunch of reviews, and at the end of that year they give you like a bound copy of all of the issues of that year. So I have those, right? But there was one review that I had not. I had done after, like the year after I left as an editor. The next year's staff was like, "Oh, can you review this movie for us?" And I did, and it was "The World Is Not Enough" in a James Bond movie. Mm-hmm. And I just never hung on to that copy. I was like, and so in the back of my mind, I was like, that one review, I just want to get it, you know?
Yeah, totally.
So I'm like driving in the Chicagoland area, and I'm driving past College of DuPage.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's see what I can do. So I go to COD. Now this is the first time I've been to COD in like, gosh, 18 years. Where it's like full of people, like school is in progress. It's very surreal. Mm-hmm. So I show up at the old newspaper office. It's a new newspaper office, but I show up there, and knock knock. Yes, sir. I'm like an old man. I'm like, okay, so. I'm like explaining that. So 20 years ago, I was on the newspaper staff, and I wrote a movie review that I don't have the copy of, and I was wondering if you could let me look through your archive so I can find the review. And they're like, okay, so they have like their big stacks and back. So I'm going through, and I'm realizing that because I was an editor 20 years ago.
Right.
So this would be like when I was an editor, if some unfrozen caveman lawyer shows up and is like, in 1979, I wrote a review of Rocky 2.
You put it that way.
And I really need a copy. I'd be like, what?
Okay.
I'd be like, what glacier did you walk out of, right?
Yeah.
And so the funny thing is I found it. I actually found it. And I pull out my phone and I do like the Ethan Hunt like scan thing with my phone or whatever. And
it wasn't microfiche?
It was. They have these bound copies of for every year. They have like a shelf with just bound copies going back God knows how long.
Yeah.
And what was funny is they're like, "Did you find it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I did." And I'm taking the picture. And one kid, like one of the editors, walks up and he's like, "The world is not enough." Okay. And I'm like, "Settle down, Sonny."
Yeah.
And what's funny is I read the review and I'm like, yeesh.
Oh, really?
Well, I haven't read it. I mean, again, it just went out the door. But I'm fairly certain that whoever was the editor at the time did some work on it.
Oh, yeah,
because
sure.
There's like vernacular in there that there's no universe I would ever use. There, you know what I mean? There's allusions to things that I'm like, well, I would never refer to that. So I'm like, well, that sucks. I wish I had the original copy. So, but still, I just love that I had this little weird experience.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. It's funny when you put it in context like that for what it would have been like for you.
That's right. I mean, think about it. 20 years ago, so most of the people in that room are either 20 or younger.
Yeah.
So just the completely out of context. But the happy ending is I got the review, and I'm very happy about that. And, there's like a handful of my reviews that are just lost to the ages, and I'm like deeply regretful about that. But I've just been trying as much as possible to collect everything I have written just so that it's available,
That's really cool, yeah. And you make that all available on your website?
It's on my blog, all the old stuff, and then I link to it on Rotten Tomatoes so that you can go back and be like, oh, look at this friggin' asshole.
Wait, did I tell you, by the way? I don't remember if I said this on air, but I was watching, like the Rocky films, and on Vudu, I think it is, when you watch them, you can see a few snippets of reviews.
Yes.
And then, sure enough, I go over there and I look through a few of them, and there's Zaki Hassan. Yeah. Tell me what he thinks of Rocky 4.
That's right.
I loved it.
For I think Rocky 1 through 5, they've got my reviews there.
Yeah, that was really cool.
And all the original Planet of the Apes movies.
I mean,
I have to admit, kind of love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, while I was in Chicago, I got to have coffee with a listener of the show, Chris Ashline, who I don't believe you've ever met.
No.
He's a big listener of the show. He way back in the day, myself, Sean Coyle, former host of the show, and Chris were also in a class at COD together, and we made this short film, and that was like 20 years ago, and we were just reminiscing about that. And he's a big fan, and he listens to the show with his son Peter. So I wanted to say hi, Peter.
Hey guys.
I also became suddenly cognizant of like, what are things we talk about that like, I'm like, is this okay for like a 12-year-old? You know, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I think about that every now and then because I know I have friends who have kids that sometimes listen in the car. So I'm like, okay.
I mean, I think we're good. You know.
Oh no, we're good. We're totally good.
We're like Fox primetime. That's the bar that I've set.
Well, think about like those morning DJs, you know, like Man Cow and all those people and all the crazy things they're saying on the radio.
That's a good point. We're not Man Cow. Holy crap! There's a blast from the past.
Yeah.
I used to listen to Man Cow all the time.
Oh yeah, I mean that was like such a
That was just a Chicago thing, right?
Chicago thing, yeah.
Yeah. Anywho, moving on.
Yeah.
Enough reminiscing.
Yes. Oh wait, I want to ask: when you were in Detroit,
Yeah.
did you see the RoboCop statue, or is that even still a thing?
As far as I know, it hasn't been put up yet.
Okay, that was something an artist wanted to do, but the city was being.
I mean, I think
resistant.
it's going to happen. I think it hasn't happened yet. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but to be honest, I forgot about it until you brought it up.
Yeah, I've never been to Detroit. The thing that I think about it though is, remember when they did those videos like 10 years ago where it was like someone singing and the camera follows them and then it pans to another person and it's like this elaborate choreographed. It's not like a flash mob, but it was like this similar sort of idea. Do you remember
Sounds
those?
vaguely familiar.
Those were big for like a minute, and I remember Detroit's was like insane.
Okay.
And it was so good. Like it went through the streets and hopped into cars and out of cars, and it ended with someone getting in a helicopter, and it was like crazy. Anyway, that's what I always think of when I think of Detroit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were primarily in like Ann Arbor.
Okay.
And that area. Ann Arbor, but it's like a college town, right? I mean, the U of M campus is just beautiful.
Yeah.
Like I always regret that because I never had the college experience where I like lived on campus and like a big college city. I mean, you went to Biola, but Biola's like a pretty small school, right?
Yeah. I think compared to others, for sure. I think
like it's different than being in like a college town. That's what I mean.
Oh yeah. Like no, the college town experience I did not have, but I was just reminiscing with someone the other day about like waking up at 11:45 on a Saturday and knowing that breakfast was not going to be served in 15 minutes, and you'd shuffle in your pajamas across campus and like grab whatever is there and then go back to your dorm.
Don't you kind of miss that?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of going back to bygone times, you got caught up with something you haven't seen in a while?
Yeah, I was trying to look at what I had watched since last we talked, and nothing super recent, but my friends and I, we started this sort of, we call it family movie night, and it's based on, Hollywood Reporter did Hollywood's 100 favorite films. So they asked, studio heads, Oscar winners, TV writers, like all sorts of Hollywood hotshots, what their 100 favorite movies were. And we were looking at the list, and they kind of cover the gamut, Wizard of Oz, Citizen Kane, sort of things. But, a few more popular films, like less Yankee Doodle dandies than the AFI list, if you catch my meaning. Which we did watch, by the way, when we tried to do the AFI list at one point. But we're like, this list feels a little more accessible, and you still get your Gone with the Winds and whatnot. So anyway, our movie last weekend was Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Nice.
Which I'd only seen once. And it was really interesting. The first time and only time I had seen it was the night that OJ fled in his Bronco. So
that's a very weird, like, connection that you've... So this is like 25 years ago you watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah, like I remember it ending and then seeing that footage on the news and following that for the rest of the night. But so for having only seen it once, though, when it started up, I could not believe how well I knew that movie. I mean, some from memory, but I just realized, man, everybody
it just
references
exists
this thing
in the ether.
Yeah, and even like coworkers of mine, my friend Jean, this thing she says to me almost every day, I didn't realize was from Holy Grail. I told her the next day, I was like, I didn't realize you were doing like a bit. And yeah, it was just. Our group is a very sort of diverse group in tastes, and we were all just cackling at this movie. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure for some people they're like, yeah, but for people who haven't seen it in a while, it's a very fun revisit.
Huh. And it's literally 25 years ago, by the way. Like when the Bronco chase happened, that was like June.
Oh yeah, of 94, right?
25 years.
Or was that
ago.
93?
94. 94.
94. Okay, yeah.
And we're recording on April 5th. Today, 25 years ago, Kurt Cobain died.
Wow, quarter of a century.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, that's one of those, when people say, "Do you remember where you were?" That's definitely one of those days for me.
Yeah, I remember people running through the hallway at my school screaming.
Wow, really?
When it was, but because it was announced on like a Friday, and I remember that. So he died, like it was announced a couple days later. Mm-hmm. And it was the end of the week. I remember that very distinctly.
Yeah, and I remember going over to my friend's house because I didn't have cable, and MTV was just doing this whole, 24/7 playing Nirvana Unplugged, and then Kurt Loder was, holding our hand through the whole thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was like one of the first like celebrity tragedies of like our age group,
Yeah, one of our guys.
Yeah,
for sure.
So Monty Python. Now, Monty Python's sensibility is like your sensibilities.
Yes, even more so than I remembered, to be honest.
That's the point I wanted to make, because you've never struck me as like a Monty Python fan per se.
Yes.
But yet their style of humor is entirely the Brian Hall wheelhouse.
It so is, and it's not for any particular reason. Like, it just wasn't something we watched in our household, I guess. Like, I remember you and Sean showed me, and now for something completely different.
Yes.
And just cracking up at it.
Like, he and I were cracking up?
No, me.
Oh,
because I'd never seen it. And I was like, oh, this is hilarious. And then watching this again, I mean, the whole thing where, they like kill someone in their story, but then it's like a historian, right?
Yes.
Who's commenting on something, and then they kill him. And so it keeps going from like medieval period and then cutting back to like, no, like this was like an actor and they killed this guy. And then like the police show up and they're investigating. Like, I was just cracking up. Like, it's very I would say Simpsons-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wouldn't it be funny if we jinxed each other and we had to be quiet for like an hour?
For the rest of the show. We have like a voiceover record. So Brian and Zach, you jinxed each other, so that's why. It's an hour and 20 minutes of silence. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully they use their ingenuity to figure out to say one of the other's names. But yeah, no, it was so apparent that everything that I love had been influenced by this sort of style of comedy. So yeah,
that's no, Brian, exactly what you're saying. I mean, when we look at the continuum that The Simpsons is on, it's a continuum that flows from Monty Python.
Yeah.
The sort of non sequitur kind of comedy.
Yes.
The thing that for me, I haven't seen the movie in a while, but one of my favorite bits is the like where the wizard is like, "What is your favorite color?"
Yes.
And he's like, "Red, no blue." Ah!
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Stupid.
I remember loving this as a kid too, and I love it now. The ending, the way that the movie ends.
Yes.
It's so abrupt and I would say quote unquote unsatisfying.
Yes, right.
And that's what I love about it. Like, it's so I can't think of a better ending. It's so good.
It is perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you moved now to watch the other Monty Python movies?
Oh yeah, for sure. I need to. We all said that night because I think most of us weren't very versed in this, so we were like, oh, we need to check out all the others.
You got to watch now for something completely different. Like that's, that. I mean, I watch that with my kids. Like, they love it.
Yeah.
The you probably wouldn't remember it, but there's the Dirty Fork skit.
No, I don't.
Which you got to watch it.
Okay,
it's very funny.
I will.
So I saw, speaking of sort of blasts from the past, I saw the new Twilight Zone.
Ooh, I'm really curious about this.
So they have the first 2 episodes. This is a CBS All Access series. It's executive produced and hosted by Jordan Peele, and they made the first 2 episodes available. The first one is also on YouTube, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's off to a pretty solid start. I think that there's always going to be, reflexively, whenever we get a new take on the Twilight Zone, and we've gotten a few, it's never going to be the original.
Right.
Just the original is the original, and just aesthetically and everything else, there's something just very special about that original series. It feels like, of all the revivals they've ever done, at least thus far, this feels closest in sort of tone and execution to that original show, though. So that's cause for optimism.
Yeah. It's funny because I've seen reactions be pretty all over the place.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been looking for people that I know, their sensibilities to give me their takes on it. And I know Sean at least watched the first one and seemed to like it. So at some point I'm going to have to check this out.
Yeah, I think so. The first episode is just under an hour, which feels a little long to me.
Yeah.
It's also got like more profanity and stuff like that than I feel comfortable with.
Yeah, I heard that too, which I found a little weird. What this show's voice tends to be.
You're right. I mean, to me, it feels like Twilight Zone, and maybe this is just because, again, that original show, like pretty much anyone can watch it, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like it should be accessible to all ages. Like you're ruling out a kid audience that, like unnecessarily,
Right. Yeah.
However, I would imagine that part of the deal for Jordan Peele coming on was being like, are you guys going to let me make whatever kind of show I want to make? Mm-hmm. And so this is him maybe to some extent testing the boundaries of what he's allowed to do.
Yeah, that could be.
Well, I mean, which makes sense, right? If you're CBS and Jordan Peele has come out of nowhere to become this sort of voice for thrillers and horror movies, and now you've got him, well, then you let him do whatever he wants to do.
Oh, yeah. I understand that on CBS.
So episode 1 is 55 minutes, episode 2 is 37 minutes. I'm wondering what the standard length is going to be.
I wouldn't mind if they're just let it be what it wanted to be. I mean, if one's an hour, one's 30 minutes.
Well, the other thought I had is if the goal is to eventually syndicate it, then 55 minutes gets you to, that becomes like a 2-hour episode.
Right.
Or like 55 minutes. So actually, no, I don't know how that would work, right? That would be like 90 minutes.
Yeah, that would
be 90 minutes. 37 minutes would get you an hour. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I don't know what the plan is,
Yeah.
So it's the first 2 episodes are, I wouldn't say they like knocked it out of the park with either of them, but they're both like interesting enough to make me want to keep watching.
Yeah, the second one is a reimagining of the airplane one, right?
It is, yeah. So the episode from the original series, it was in the 5th season. It's called Nightmare at 20,000 Feet. It's directed by Richard Donner.
That's awesome, yeah.
Right, it's like one of the first things he did. It's written by Richard Matheson, who wrote, I Am Legend, and it stars William Shatner. So it's this like triple icon kind of thing, And then they redid it in the movie. Have you seen the movie, the Twilight Zone movie?
I've definitely seen segments of it because I know I've seen this one.
Yeah, the segment in the film is directed by George Miller, and it stars John Lithgow. Mm-hmm. It's actually very funny because that show, Third Rock from the Sun. Do you remember that show?
Yeah.
So that starred John Lithgow, and a frequent guest star was William Shatner.
Oh, funny.
And so there's an episode where John Lithgow is like, man, I had this nightmare. Like I was on a plane and there's this weird thing. And then Shatner's like, I think I had that same dream or something like that. That's very clever. So the premise of that episode is like, it's like a gremlin on the plane that only he can see. So this is not about a gremlin on the plane.
Sure. Which is, that seems clever, right? I mean, we know the story.
We know the story. So it's like, how are you going to switch it up? So this is the main character who's played by Adam Scott. He finds like an MP3 player, and there's a podcast, like a true crime podcast, about the crash of the plane that he's on right now. It's kind of interesting, right?
Yeah.
It's funny, actually, because the podcast is hosted by somebody named Rodman Edwards. And I'm like enough of a geek that I'm like, because Rodman Edward Serling. Rodman Edward
nice.
S. Rodman Edwards. So I was like very proud of myself. I was watching it with my wife. I was like, you know what that is? And she's like, I don't care. I'm like, no, listen.
That's funny.
But yeah, so check it out if you have access to CBS All Access. The one thing I will say, this is a point that I was discussing it with Sean, and he said I had the same thought. He had the same thought. It's going to be an adjustment to take Jordan Peele seriously.
Oh, from those ads, it's very difficult.
Yes, because he's about to have an encounter in the Twilight Zone, and immediately in my head I'm like, he looks like Neil deGrasse Tyson, like doing the Neil deGrasse Tyson skit,
Yes,
he's
exactly.
like looking right at the camera. I'm like, it's gonna be an adjustment. I know it.
Well, that's what he was so good at on that show, doing that deadpan. And you remember when he's the flight attendant, calling all boarding all the people in front of Keegan Michael Key, but he's so deadpan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I agree. That's
so
funny.
it'll be an adjustment, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
Moving on. So there's a couple new trailers that dropped.
Yes.
So this first trailer, I'm just curious. I wanted to get your thoughts on this because Dave Bautista is like sort of on the rise as like an action actor. Mm-hmm. And I feel like there's this rite of passage that every rising action actor has to go through, right? Which is like the badass that has to watch a kid or something,
Right.
So this is a movie called My Spy coming up, and personally, I saw the trailer and I went in very cynical, and when the trailer ended, I was like, that looks fun.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's something I'm probably going to catch.
It looks like something I would probably take my kids to see.
I was just gonna say, yeah, but I don't think there's enough movies aimed at kids these days, directly at kids. It's almost like they have to sort of stand on their tiptoes to watch some of these movies that are a little more adult oriented, but happen to be PG-13, and it's not speaking to them, necessarily, or like the way they see the world. And it is kind of nice to see a movie like this where you're like, oh, well, that's perfect. Like that's something that's on their level.
I mean, there really is like a lineage you can trace back to like Kindergarten Cop.
I can't believe this is coming up actually, because I was talking with my friend last night who went to CinemaCon where they preview a bunch of movies coming up, and he was telling me what he saw, and he goes, yeah, there's this John Cena movie coming up where he's a firefighter and he has to take these 3 kids in, and then he like look, and I was like, and I literally last night I was like, wow, Kindergarten Cop really changed everything, didn't it? And then when you mentioned this trailer and you just said that now, I was like, yeah, this is every action hero has to have their Kindergarten Cop now.
They have to, right? Because Hulk Hogan did something.
Like
The Nanny, that's right. The Rock did like the Game Plan, or no, Tooth Fairy. Well, the Game
Tooth
Plan.
Fairy and Game Plan was
there.
A thing,
You go.
right?
He doubled up.
Yeah.
The Rock always gotta, always gotta show everyone up. Like Dolph Lundgren. Dolph Lundgren did Kindergarten Cop 2.
That's right. Yeah.
Which everyone has forgotten about. It was only like a year ago or something, but everyone's already forgotten about it.
Vin Diesel, the pacifier.
The pacifier, yeah. So it's just to me, that's what I found the novelty of the fact that it's like, oh, now it's Dave Bautista's turn in the barrel.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny too, that scene with the dodgeball kind of reminded me of Billy Madison.
Yes.
Where like, now you're all going to pay. I feel like he says something almost exactly like that.
I do, like the trailer's like from the director of Get Smart, and I'm like, I mean, not for nothing, but like if that's the high level pitch, like,
well, if you're gonna do that, you may as well just go all in and be like, from the visionary who brought you Get Smart.
Yeah, right. I mean, to me, it's like because it's Peter Segal who did Tommy Boy.
Yes, right.
And I'm like, well, that's what you want to go with, then. I mean,
well, I don't know who. I mean, these days, I don't know how much that movie still carries.
That's a good point. But I'm like, if you're a kid, well, this is the thing. It's different. It's a different time, right? Because when we were kids, we had basically grown up watching all of Arnold's like R-rated action movies.
Right.
So by the time Kindergarten Cop comes along, we were sort of in on the joke.
Yes. I'm the party pooper.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's not a tumor.
Yeah, right.
Right? So the thing is, like Dave Bautista, I mean, okay, well, no, he's done Guardians of the Galaxy, which kids would know. But
I get you.
But he's not known as like kids wouldn't know him as like this action badass.
Right.
Kids aren't going to be like, oh, remember him in that opening scene from Blade Runner 2049? Like, where he was the tragic replicant who knows what life is more than Ryan Gosling.
Right.
Let's see how he deals with a child in his life. So that's my only cause for pause. But I think I've said this before. I just love Dave Bautista. I just find him, he's a fun presence. He's not a great actor, but he knows what he's good at.
Yeah.
You know? So I just saw this trailer and I was like, I think I'll take the kids to that. And it seems like it might be just like a fun thing. I hope it breaks out for him. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm rooting for you, Dave.
It's funny you say that too, and I have not seen this trailer, but my friend also brought up Dora the Explorer.
Oh my
trailer.
gosh. That last week or whenever we recorded, I was like, there was a trailer. I need to talk to you about. That was the one.
Okay, see, all right. Well, I have not seen this. And he was telling me it was terrible, and I was like, I'm sure it is. However, I was like, I am okay with the idea of a movie looking really dumb to us if it is like a cool adventure for like little kids.
Here's the thing. Yes, I agree with what you're saying, because I mean I never watched Dora the Explorer, but my kids are familiar with Dora the Explorer, so they saw the trailer and they're like, huh? Because it's like Indiana Jones, right?
Yes.
And I'm like, well, I know enough about Dora the Explorer to know it's not that, and so it really does feel like a YouTube video of somebody being clever, like, oh, here's our like.
Right.
Hip update of Dora the Explorer, you know?
Right. Well, because it's funny, because it prompted me to say what I just said like 2 minutes ago, where I was like, yeah, they don't make enough movies directly aimed at kids anymore. So I was like, as long as that one isn't like putting some sort of crazy subversive message in their heads, you know? Like...
Yeah, it's. I mean, I just saw that and I'm like, okay, I guess I talked to my students about it, and I was like, I don't know, it seems fine to me. And they're like, no, it doesn't. So they're...
Oh, really?
They're extremely, I mean, these are college students, but they're drawing a line.
Well, they probably grew up with it.
They're like, hashtag not my Dora.
See, well, I guess that would have been me and Inspector Gadget.
There you go.
When that came out, because that came out when I was much older, but that was what I grew up with, and it was very heartbroken.
That movie was very much not, that was not the Don Adams... Yeah, of all the people, Matthew Broderick as Inspector Gadget.
Yeah.
This is miscasting. And by the way, speaking of Dave Bautista, we're talking about Dave Bautista, Brian. There's Dave Bautista news. It's exclusive.
Here?
No, not from us. I'm reading an exclusive. Yeah, I should clarify. Sorry. We do not generate our own news here at the Movie Film Show.
Yeah, but we're happy to repeat it.
We are exclusively bottom feeders. So this is via Deadline. Dave Bautista is starring in Army of the Dead, which is the new Zack Snyder Netflix joint.
That's a Netflix film, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, hey, I mean, he's the train keeps chugging along for him.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what that movie entails, because the last time Zack Snyder did a zombie movie, I was quite enthused. It was Dawn of the Dead. So, as a continuation of that, I'm very curious. This is a $70 million movie, which seems like a lot for a Netflix movie.
Well, hey, I think he's an enjoyable personality in all the films he shows up in. So, I'm in.
Well, all I'm going to say is I'm looking forward to seeing him in Army of the Dead, but it'll be hard to top the thrill-a-minute excitement of My Spy.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm calling it. Right now. Anyways, so My Spy is coming out, and we don't know when.
It didn't even have a date?
It's just a coming. But this is, let's be honest, this is the trailer that we're really here to talk about, and it is the Joker, or rather, it's just Joker.
Joker.
We don't do definitive articles anymore.
Mm-hmm. It's cleaner.
Yeah, exactly. So it's directed by Todd Phillips. It was at one time supposed to be produced by Scorsese.
Right.
He is not involved anymore, but it does still star Joaquin Phoenix as Joker. So let's
and featuring Robert De Niro. Speaking of the
Robert
Scorsese
De Niro, that's
connection,
right.
Yeah.
Doing like a you know what? Let's talk about this on the other side.
Yeah.
My mother always tells me to smile and put on a happy face. She told me I had a purpose to bring laughter and joy to the world. Hey, stop them! Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking.
Okay, so Brian, you may
Yes.
recall that many moons ago I was adamant that this movie would never be made.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, as surely as night follows day, this movie will never see the light of day. I say,
Yeah.
well, apparently it is being made,
Yes.
but it's been interesting to sort of watch the gamut of reactions that I'm seeing, certainly online, where some people are like, oh, this is going to be like next level, and some people are like, this, like, why are we glorifying this awful character? Mm-hmm. I'm very curious. Where do you land based on what you've seen thus far?
I would say somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, that's
Of
kind
that,
of where I'm
actually.
at too.
Yeah, because I think I thought it sounded curious when it was announced. Then when I started seeing images, I was like, ooh. And then after I watched it, I was like, wow, that it just gripped me. I mean, it's really cinematic, and it looks kind of like how I would personally want a movie like this to look.
Yeah.
I like when this. I'm realizing I kind of like my Batman a little grounded. Just coming from. I mean, obviously Tim Burton is just stylish, crazy pants, but still sort of on the ground a little bit. At least when, Bruce Wayne and, like his car can't fly and, just limited by the effects of the time. But it just keeps it in something I'm comfortable with, a realm I'm comfortable with.
Sure.
And obviously the Nolan films are probably the Batman films I connect with the most. I know this might be controversial to some, but I prefer my Batman not fighting like CGI bugs or something.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I kind of like seeing this like Joker in the real world. It almost makes him scarier to me. But I also thought when it ended, I just hope it isn't like relentlessly dark.
Yeah, that's right. I had that thought as well, and
That just won't be entertaining to me personally. That's just something that makes me feel down.
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple thoughts. I mean, on the one hand, there are people who are like, well, the Joker doesn't need an origin, and
Sure.
he's just a force of evil. And I'm like, well, I can agree with that in concept, but we've gotten many Joker origins, so
Right.
that, horses left the barn. I wonder, and again, it's hard. This is like 2.5 minutes of footage, so out of context. So you're hesitant to make too many assumptions about the
Yes.
film itself. But I am like, what I don't want out of this movie is to feel bad for the Joker,
Yes.
and to then, by virtue of that, somehow have the movie finding its way to justifying who he becomes.
Agreed. Agreed.
I'm assuming the movie will not do that. I don't know.
Yeah. Have they used the word tragedy? I feel like that word came up.
That has come up, yeah.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about that. And again, I haven't seen it.
Well, and
But
plus,
yeah,
it's in,
you don't
it's
wanna-
in the it's in the trailer. Right? He's like, I thought my life was a tragedy.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But yeah, you don't want to have. It's like, well, the things he does are awful, but did you know how he grew up? Like it's like you don't want to kind of have that running through your mind while it's going on. But I mean, well, that remains to be seen. But I did really like the look of it. I thought it looked. For once, I like using the word gritty. I guess usually gritty is, I feel like, misused, but I like that it just felt like grimy. Like they really did transport themselves back to like 1970 something. And I like kind of the dirty subway looking thing and dirty alleys. And then someone pointed this out. I thought this was interesting when it shows him forcing a smile on that little kid.
Yes.
So someone was like, I wonder if that's young Bruce Wayne.
Apparently it is.
Yeah, I was like, ooh. See, that was honestly the thing that I was like, all right, let's do this. Like, I'm kind of into it.
Yeah, the stuff that intrigued me was the stuff that reminds you that this is part of a pre-existing, like, a universe that we know.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
it's not part of, like, the universe, but it's in the Batman universe, right? So when it's like, oh, Arkham, you're like, oh yeah, this is a Batman thing, like, or oh, Gotham, oh yes, and so it's like, and by the way, you can see Brett Cullen on the TV, and that he's playing Thomas Wayne. Little connections there. The trailer ended, and I'm like, well, I'm curious to see that. And if that's the goal of a trailer, then it accomplished that, you know?
Yeah, I guess thinking about it now, I almost wish this was the next Batman movie. Like, I wish Batman was in this. I wish it was this look and this style and that Joker. And but then again, I don't know. You know, I mean, or at least this is a tease that makes me think, like, yeah, this is kind of what I hope Reeves' thing is going to look like a little bit.
Well, you know, with that in mind, I mean, I think what they're finally figuring out is let the movie look like whatever the character and filmmaker want it to be, right?
Yeah.
I think without diving back into the Zack Snyder thing, I mean, I think the mistake during those handful of films was to some extent that his influence spread outward.
Right.
And so, you know, Wonder Woman there's like a Snyder-esque quality to some of it, the way it's, you know, trying to make everything...
The colors and...
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, trying to make everything aesthetically look similar. And I think with this, they're like, no, let Todd Phillips make the movie that would be justified by this character.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what Reeves' Batman will look like, but we can look at Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, War for the Planet of the Apes, and we have a sense of his approach.
Mm-hmm.
And it probably won't look exactly like this, but, you know, similar, you know?
But yeah, I would be totally on board for something similar to this, or I'd even be down if they want to go sort of with a style, like sort of a 1940s kind of thing, like a little heightened noir. I don't know, that'd be kind of fun.
I mean, it's... What I'm sort of... Like, just reflexively, and I've said this all along, I'm like, I think the Joker, and you said it, right, he's the spice in the stew.
Right.
So when we focus on him for 2 hours, like, I don't know how I'm going to feel at the end of that, which is, I think, the same point you're making. I'm optimistic about this, not just this film, but the future of DC films, when we look at sort of how expansive they are in their approach now, which is not like universe based, but is more like property based.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
No, totally. I agree.
Like, the universe is still going because Shazam is clearly set in that universe, but they're not beholden to that. And that really, I mean, I think to some extent the fever has broken in Hollywood, where everyone's trying to do the MCU.
Right.
And I think at this point everyone's sort of like, well, whatever Marvel, like, they figured it out and then they buried the formula.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Right? And I think that's smart. So I like that now we're in a place where, oh, this movie can exist and we'll see what it does. And by the way, it costs like nothing.
Oh, interesting. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I mean, the budget is practically nil. I mean, I'd be shocked if it's more than like $50 million, you know?
Yeah, well, smart.
Yeah, so that's my point is, yeah, okay, $55 million.
Okay.
They're going to make that back.
Sure. Oh, easy, yeah.
Right? And that's what you want to do. Like, that's exactly what you want to do with properties like this, is dig in. And even Shazam, by the way, didn't cost that much.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's like less than $100 million, Shazam.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Oh! I thought you meant as much as Joker. I see. Holy crap!
Shazam did not cost particularly much.
Yes, I see. Yes, but which again, yeah, was wise.
Yeah, so that's what you want to do now. I mean, I think, excuse me, I'm intrigued by the story they're going to tell. I'm curious if the movie blows up, do they then sort of back it into the Matt Reeves Batman?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Or do they stick to the idea that this is its own thing?
Yeah, I don't know. But it is kind of funny that I think 20-some years ago they probably would have been worried about audiences following all of this. Like these continuity jumping, we're restarting, we're rebooting. And it's just funny that we're all like, no, yeah, we got it.
Well, I think more than most characters, Batman lends itself to just whatever the hell they feel like doing.
Yes, yeah.
Because we got Gotham right now that's about to wrap up, and I don't know if you saw, they got the Joker on there now.
Yes,
who looks like friggin' an escapee from a nightmare.
Yes, yeah.
Right? And I haven't even followed that show. I know it has its fans, and God bless you. to me, it looks like something I wipe off my shoe.
Yeah.
And then they got this Alfred Pennyworth show coming up.
Oh yeah.
Right. So my point is they're doing whatever they feel like it, and I think Batman more than most allows them. Like, people get it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is, and they've redone Batman so many times at this point.
Yeah. No, I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
And he's evergreen,
Yeah. For Warner Brothers especially, like, their bottom line.
Yeah.
Bringing in the green.
Yeah.
By the way, they're re-releasing the 4 80s, 90s Batman movies to theaters. Did you see that?
What?
Yeah. It's like a Fathom Events thing.
I'm so there. I never saw 89 in the theater.
Me either. Yeah. I would want to watch both that one and probably Returns.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I'm there.
Right? I think that's next month, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, cool.
I think it's in May, like beginning part of May. So,
yeah,
something to plan for.
Yeah.
So we'll see, and we'll be back later in the episode talking about another DC Comics movie. Let's take a little break, and then we'll talk some headlines and get into a spoiler conversation.
Sounds good.
And we're back, and we got some headlines, and the big headline right off the gate is Avengers Endgame briefly broke the internet.
Yes, they're advanced ticket sales.
Tickets went on sale this past Monday. Mm-hmm. Or was it Tuesday?
I don't recall.
It was Monday or Tuesday, and just every online ticketing application just died.
Yeah, I'm on a group chat with some of my friends from my Bob's Burgers days, and I woke up and I had 40 messages from them.
Wow.
I woke up to this and I was like, what happened? And I looked and it was all of them lamenting not being able to buy Avengers tickets or trying to get into the online line, so to speak. Yeah. I was like, what? I didn't even know it was happening today. And then I just saw everybody posting about it on Facebook, and yeah, I missed it. Did you do it?
I woke up in the morning and I had gotten a little thing like, oh, Avengers tickets are available. So I was like, oh, cool. And I buy for my kids and my family, get a big group. And so I go to Fandango. I go to AMC, and that AMC is basically like, screw you. Like, come back later. AMC don't work anymore. Pray for Mojo. That was
Pray for Mojo.
Yeah. Fandango, like, you log in and it tells you you're in line.
Okay.
And for me, at the time I logged in, it's like, oh, your wait is like 4 minutes. I was like, oh, okay, no problem. And so I wait, and then I try to buy my tickets, and it's like, sorry, no can do. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, it just didn't let me purchase it, and then it kicked me out, and I tried to get back in line. It's like, your wait is now 90 minutes.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, you suck so bad. So eventually I was able to log into the Cinemark site, and like, I just, like, whatever screening I was able to get, I just snaked like 10 seats, and it's like 8:45 Saturday morning.
Okay. Yeah.
I just got them, and that's fine because I go early anyway.
Yeah, sure.
But like, if you look now on like AMC or any of these sites, Thursday through Sunday, basically every show is sold out.
I saw this because I was like, well, I don't know when I'm going that weekend. And so I looked up at ArcLight Theaters, the one that's closest to my house. And usually, even when things are selling out, they always have something available. And I mean, yeah, like every showing, except for maybe a couple seats in the front row. I mean, I don't remember something like this since Force Awakens. That was the last time I remember being in like a digital waiting room and being kicked out and freaking out. And...
So did you get your seats or seat?
No.
So you still don't know when you're seeing Avengers?
No, but I'm fairly confident I will be able to. It'll probably just be like what you're saying, like a morning show or,
Well, get a ticket because we got a show to do.
I will.
Priorities. But yeah, no, the Force Awakens comparison is a good one, and I think that the thought that I had was this mad rush of everyone trying to get tickets. I'm curious if Episode 9 will have the same thing. My gut tells me it won't.
Same.
And that kind of makes me sad a little bit,
Yeah. It's inevitable because, we had a long waiting period between Star Wars films, so the anticipation was high, and now we've been a little oversaturated with Star Wars, so it's natural, but at the same time, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, as Star Wars being my thing, I've loved my entire life. I hate seeing it become the wallflower a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, but when you think about it, both are doing the same thing. Both are the end of this saga.
Sure.
And again, we're in like the pre-hype lull before Episode 9. Like,
yes.
So there is also that. But I don't know. Avengers. There's been a year of just anticipation.
Yeah, and it's I was telling you I saw Captain Marvel again with my brother who hadn't seen it. And there was an elderly couple next to me. And when it was over, they leaned over to us and they went, "That was fun." And I was like, "Oh, wow, yeah." I'm like, "Yeah, we love these movies. Yeah." So they're like, "Oh, this is great." And then they just got up and they were really amped.
Wow, that's
and
funny.
So, well, then we go out into the lobby and I see them in front of the poster for Avengers. And I hear one of them go, "April 26th. Okay." I was like, wow. Like, I mean, we've said it. We can't say it any more ways, but Marvel just figured it out.
See, and this is interesting because I was having this conversation with somebody on Twitter yesterday who made the comment. They were like, cheering when the Marvel Studios logo comes up is stupid and cheesy, and you're an idiot for doing that because you're just cheering Disney taking your money. Like when the Marvel Studios... And I was like, well, first of all, that's like... It's a weird thing to take such a firm stand on, right?
Yes, yeah.
Right? But the point I was making is I was like, well, it's like people cheering when the Star Wars logo comes up.
Yeah.
And this person was like, no, because that's like a franchise and characters that they're cheering, and this is just like a studio. I'm like, but Marvel Studios is the Marvel Universe.
Yes.
Like
yes.
when you're not, what you're getting with the Marvel Studios logo, which is that you're back in this universe, and that's what people. It's no different than Star Wars.
Yeah. I agree with you. Obviously, I mean, because to me, it's like I'm cheering. Yeah, a universe, creativity that I enjoy.
Yeah, exactly.
I realize someone owns it, but.
Yeah, somebody owns Star Wars too. So like,
exactly.
But it's the point is like I think this person's like, oh, you might as well cheer the Paramount logo or something like that. I'm like, yeah, but it's not the same thing.
No, because I don't love everything under the Paramount banner.
Exactly right.
Yeah,
I mean, like when I was younger, when they would put out Star Trek movies, and you would have, well, they still put out Star Trek movies, but like in the 90s, the Paramount logo would come up and you would start hearing that classic, the Alexander Courage Star Trek fanfare, and it gets you a little excited.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or it's like when the gun barrel scene in James Bond. There's like certain visual cues that are meant to condition a certain response from you. I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah, and I think about this sometimes. I don't know if I'm going to say this well, but with TV shows on, network television, I mean, they're really just a means to sell soda.
Yes. Right.
And beer and whatever. But at the same time, that's what they're doing for the network. Like they're generating revenue. However, the people who are making those shows aren't thinking about soda. They're thinking about like that story means everything to them, and they're doing their damnedest to tell the best thing possible and sell it to a network that's going to use it to try to make money. So there's the people behind the product. Obviously, there's someone making money off of this, but the people who are making the product care very much about the product. Right?
Yes, right.
So I mean, I think Kevin Feige, I don't think he's like, how can I make a ton of money? I think he's like, how can I tell the most satisfying story?
Right.
And it just happens to make people a ton of money.
And it's been borne out,
Yeah.
I mean, I think the journey that we've been on in this universe is the reason that people are so excited. I've been getting messages from people for the past several weeks, like, oh, I haven't seen any of them, but I want to get caught up. What are the ones I can watch to get caught up?
Right.
And in other words, this is something people want to buy into it.
Yeah.
And that's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, my parents and I, we've already said, like, we can't wait to have the phone call and talk about it.
Well, and by the way, here on Movie Film, we'll be doing a commentary track for the first Avengers movie.
Yes, yes.
To drop sometime before Endgame comes out. So look forward to that.
Me too. I'm excited about that.
So we're talking about like franchises that are getting cranked out, and CinemaCon happened this past week.
Yes, CinemaCon, which is this gathering in Las Vegas where a lot of movie theater types go out there, and the studios put on the best razzle-dazzle show they can to get the theaters hyped about what's coming soon for them. And it's funny you say that, actually, because, as I'm looking at all the movies that I was reading about, they're all franchises. It's
Right.
like Terminator, Toy Story, Wonder Woman. But yeah, a friend of mine went out there, and he was telling me a bit about it. And then also, of course, I was reading about it online. But it's been kind of cool. Like, I guess they showed the first 20 minutes of Toy Story 4. And I know, did we talk about the trailer?
I don't think we did.
Yeah, my take was, I think a lot of people felt like Toy Story 3 was the perfect ending to that series. So it was a little hesitation with continuing it. And the trailer, my short take was that it felt like Pixar was like, you know what? Forget the kids. Like, let's just tell the existential drama we've always wanted to tell. It's like, right? Like, there's like a spoon who's been turned into a toy with googly eyes, and he's like, but I didn't ask for this to be a toy. Like, wow. It's heavy.
Kill me.
Yeah. But my friend was like, oh, no, yeah, it was great. Like the 20 minutes. And then I had heard, speaking of the sort of Zack Snyder and sort of his essence, over Wonder Woman 1, apparently this Wonder Woman 2 feels brighter and different and more stepping into its own sort of aesthetic, which sounded kind of exciting. But the footage I was most excited to hear about was from Terminator, which,
which Brian, you and me, man, we're like Charlie Brown running towards the football.
Yes, that's the best way to put it. Yes, anytime Terminator holds out the football, I'm going to charge toward it, even if it yanks it away from me. And reading about this footage, I was like, okay. I'm the guy who's always going to be in line for this. But my buddy who saw it, he was like, nah, man, I think you're going to like this. I was like, okay, man. Okay. Just realize what you're doing to me. And reading online too, from some people that, writers that I like online, they all seem to genuinely enjoy it too. So I was like,
it really blew people's hair back.
I gotta say, after talking about it with my friend, I was like, I might be looking forward to this more than Star Wars.
I mean, wow.
I don't know.
I'm looking forward to seeing footage.
Yes.
For sure.
Here's the other thing too. Realistically, this isn't going to be Terminator 2. Like, you can't do that again. It already happened.
This is going to be Girl Meets World.
What? Oh, yes. Well, because it already happened at a pivotal age for me, and it means what it means, and it's a great thing. You can't repeat it, and nor should you. So I just hope that this feels like a worthy continuation of the story, and at the very least, it's good. It doesn't have to even be a classic. I just hope it's good.
Yeah, so stuff I'm willing to predict about this is this is not meant to be a one and done.
Sure.
Obviously, they want to continue, but I think that this will be the final time that we see Linda Hamilton in this role. I think it's going to be a Han Solo situation.
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised.
And if I were to guess, Arnold is probably going to be phased out.
Yeah.
And so moving forward, the only legacy name is going to be James Cameron.
Yeah, right.
And so the question will be, is that going to be enough? Because this is his baby, obviously. I don't know. I'm somebody. I mean, obviously, the thing is, Terminator Salvation had a great trailer.
Yeah, sure.
Right? I mean, I saw that trailer and I was like, plug into a vein and go nuts, Right. And then the movie was what it was. Terminator Genesis had a shit trailer.
Right.
And so we went in with no expectations, and somehow those no expectations weren't even met.
Right.
Which is damned impressive. Terminator 3, I'm a fan of. I've said this before, but with this, it's like, if we think about it, we've now had 3 Terminator movies in a row. We have a trilogy of Terminator movies that was meant for each movie to start its own trilogy.
Wow. Yeah.
We have a failed trilogy.
Yeah.
So, and then there's the TV show. So I'm like, it's weird that there's been all this Terminator product, and yet this still feels like kind of like a homecoming,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing, isn't it? Also, where they're saying this isn't a sequel to those sequels. Those don't exist.
Yes.
This is a sequel to part 2.
Yeah. So, we're in an age of legacy sequels. And so, I think people... I think Linda Hamilton is going to end up being a bigger draw than people would have thought.
Yeah, I think there's going to be something about seeing her in those trailers where it's like, ooh, like it's going to bring back all the feels for the originals.
Aren't you kind of curious about John Connor, though? Like, we haven't heard anything about John Connor.
I wonder if that's going to be some sort of reveal.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll be Jason Clarke
really
from the last
screwed him
one.
up in the last movie. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
I mean, no offense to him, because I like him as an actor.
No, he was done dirty by that movie.
Yeah.
Look, did you see the trailer for the new season of Cobra Kai?
No, I didn't.
Like, they just dropped like a full trailer because the new season starts in a few weeks. And I look at that and I'm like, this is brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they've figured it out with this show where they know exactly the right amount of the old, exactly the right amount of the new to make this feel both timely and timeless.
Yep.
And so that's what Terminator Dark Fate needs to do, Brian. It needs to measure up to Cobra Kai. That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
I'm just putting it out there. That's what it's called, by the way, Dark Fate. So
yeah.
We'll see. This is, by the way, the shortest gap ever between Terminator movies.
Oh, interesting.
Kind of interesting, right? 4 years.
Yeah.
Only 4 years. Because it was like 12 years between 2 and 3. It was like 8 years between 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then 6 years? Yeah, 6 years from 3 to 4 and from 4 to 5.
Wow.
4 years. But yet,
I guess you're gonna pretty soon. Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton will age out of it and probably lose interest.
Yeah, I would think. It's ultimately these are brands. I think what you said is really like that should be. People should know that going into any franchise eventually continuing, it will never be 100% that thing that you love.
Right.
Because that thing that you love already exists, and you already had that experience with it. Mm-hmm. And, you just have to know that. So, like with the Disney sale, they announced, we're going to be doing more Alien movies. We're going to be doing more Planet of the Apes movies and whatever else. And everyone's already like getting upset about that. Because what does a Disney Alien movie look like, Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know, but I know that I've seen a bunch of shit Alien movies, so it's not like, how bad can it get?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe it'll be great.
And their story teams are pretty good over there, so I don't know.
Yeah, and I hope whatever they come up with will be great. I hope this next Terminator will be good. I know Paramount desperately hopes it'll be good.
Yeah.
They are in bad shape.
Yeah, I hope they've learned from the lessons, and we'll see.
Yeah. So as far as Star Wars news goes, Brian, I mean there really is no Star Wars news.
No, next week is Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah.
Which is sort of like a Comic-Con that is just Star Wars exclusive. And I think we're all expecting to learn a title and see a trailer finally. So looking forward to talking about that soon.
So if anything big is announced at Celebration, you and I, we can jump on mic and do like a quick little update.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But why don't we take a little break and then we can come back and we'll talk about Shazam.
Sounds good.
All right, so we are recording this on Friday, April 5th. So Shazam has officially been in theaters for one night. Mm-hmm. Although the screenings already started at like 4 p.m.
Wow, they're getting earlier and earlier.
I was about to say, like at some point you have to call Thursday opening day.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? But there was also sneak previews, paid previews like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, which is another sort of newish kind of thing, right? It seems probably starting like a social media buzz.
Yeah, I feel like certainly for Warner Brothers, they did it with Aquaman, and it paid dividends. So they did it again here. So when you factor in the Fandango sneak previews plus preview night Thursday, it's already made about $10 million.
That's not bad.
Not bad. So this is a movie that cost $90 million to make.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a massive hit.
Yeah. It's it seems to be, the early responses seem to be pretty great.
Well, there's only one early response I care about, Brian, and that is yours.
Well, I had a really fun time with this movie. You know,
I figured you would, by the way.
yeah, I mean, it's like right up my alley.
Yeah.
It's what we'd been suspecting from trailers is that it would be big. You know, the Tom Hanks movie meets a superhero film, and it pretty much is. But in the best way.
There's a scene late in the film where you have a bunch of kids and they're running around in like the mystical land, you know, with a bunch of doors. And I'm like, this is like a Brian Hall scene right here.
And you know why? Because A, you're right. But B, we can get more into this. But he, you know, the boy goes to a foster home and he has these sort of quirky other kids that are there.
Yeah.
And in a lot of movies, they would just sort of be props for some sort of joke, and then we move on. But they actually, I was surprised that they became a part of the story, and each one kind of had their own little, you know, flavor, and they were really sweet. I liked all of them. And so seeing them work together at the end was very satisfying. And that's when I was like, oh, this is a good movie.
Yeah.
You know, like they took everything that they put in here and it all works together, and it came together for a satisfying thing at the end. And yeah, I love the kids, especially the youngest girl who's like really excited to be a sister.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I think I made a noise every time she was on screen. Every time she said something, I was like, "Aw, she's so adorable." But yeah, we can get more into that. But my really quick like 2-sentence take is, you know, I walking out of it, I was like, you know, there's this year in 2019, there's literally going to be 10 superhero films. I looked this up.
Wow.
I mean, there's so many superhero films. So it's like, how do you stand out? And I feel like this one found a fun, fresh angle to enjoy the concept of a superhero, but in a totally different way that is really fun and exuberant. Right? Like you kind of have the darker ones, that's fine. You have the Marvel thing, which is very Marvel, and that's fine. But I enjoyed the sort of youthful, you know, 12-year-old-ish kind of exuberance that this movie had, and I thought it actually executed all of it really well. So
I concur. I mean, I think what it really nailed was the scale.
Yeah.
This is not a Blue Beam into the Sky movie.
No.
You know, it functions on a much smaller level, and I just appreciate that. I appreciate something where the stakes are something you can sort of get your arms around. But, you know, big picture. I mean, this is a character who's been kicking around forever. Like he's been around at least as long as Superman.
Wow.
You know, and it's funny because everybody knows Shazam in some way. Like you're familiar with the word, or you know. Mm-hmm. And it's, you know, and there was like a TV show in the 70s, but he's always been Captain Marvel.
Ah, right.
So it's funny because all my life I was like, no, Shazam is what he says, Captain Marvel is what he's called, and now I'm like, never mind. That's no longer the case. But I do love the symmetry. Like you talk about how many superhero movies. We're at a point now where you can watch Captain Marvel, and then that movie ends, and you can go see Captain Marvel.
Right, yeah.
Just one room over, you know. I love it. And I think for me, just picking up on what you were saying, the idea of the tone, right? I think this is more comical, and yet it feels more real than some of these superhero movies that try to take themselves super seriously.
Yeah. It felt like a real world people in a real world, and then fantastic things were introduced.
Yeah, right. You know, I mean, I think, like, I like the fact that the movie, it took its premise seriously. Like, and I said this to you last time, there's moments that are legit dark.
I was a little surprised, actually, because it felt very PG to me most of the way through, in, like, the most delightful way, like the PG movies we grew up with. Yeah. But then, yeah, every now and then I was like, whoa.
Like, there's a thing right up top where Dr. Savannah, I think we're thinking the same thing, he like, finds a doorway.
Yes.
And then this, like, really kind of graphic thing happens. right away. Where I was like, because I took my 5-year-old, I was like, ugh.
Right.
You see somebody just like turn to dust and melt away, but in a very like horror movie way.
Oh, that. Yes, that. And then I was also thinking of the flashback.
Oh,
I just
yes.
that just thematically, I was like, ooh, that is.
Yeah,
I'm feeling
very true. I mean, so the movie starts, and this is not a spoiler because it's the first 5 minutes. We're introduced to our antagonist, who is given the opportunity to potentially get the power of Shazam, etc., and he's found unworthy. Mm-hmm. Which I was like, that's like a really shitty thing to say to a kid.
To a kid, yeah.
You'll never
Talk about creating a complex.
You understand his like motivations to some extent, but then we come back and we got John Glover as his dad.
Yes.
Who's like, you little shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, John Glover. Like, first of all, John Glover, this is now his 4th DC like villain character.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because he's the voice of the Riddler. He was in Batman and Robin. And then he's Lex Luthor's dad on Smallville, and now he's Dr. Savannah's dad in Shazam. So I'm like, he's like father of bald DC villains. That's his very specific niche, you know?
Yeah. But as that scene continues, too, it gets pretty dark.
It escalates, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's certainly, but again, going back to what we were saying, it feels very in the vein of the type of stuff we watched when we were kids.
I completely agree, actually. I mean, our movies get pretty heavy, too. I mean, you used to shoot guns at kids.
Yeah,
our movies
exactly.
growing up.
You know, and I think, you know, we actually, to me, like the main character, and Zachary Levi is Shazam, and he's great. I want to talk about him, but Asher Angel, who plays Billy Batson, this kid really impressed me.
Yeah, he's really good.
You know, I mean, he's kind of doing like the smart ass thing and stuff, but he's not like a delinquent.
Right.
Like, the very first thing, remember, he does this thing where he plays a prank on the cops. So what is he doing it for? He's doing it because he wants to find out something by logging into their computer.
Right.
And I thought that's really, like, the movie does these subtle things where it shows, no, he's actually a really good kid.
Yeah.
Because we have to buy, like, why would the wizard give him the powers, right?
Right.
So
Right. He has to be a hero at heart.
Right. And so and by the way, when he's like, when the wizard who's played by Jaimin Hunsu, he's like, lay your hands on my staff. And he's like, ew.
Yeah.
Dude, biggest laugh in the theater was that he's like, ew.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
There was another, I got to remember this after the spoiler wall, but there's a part I laughed. I laughed the hardest, I think, of anyone in the theater.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to hear that then.
We'll get to that, yeah.
But I mean, the build up to, you know, when he becomes Shazam, it all worked for me, and I never didn't buy that Zachary Levi was playing the same character.
Yeah, you know, even in the middle of the movie, I thought of that. I was like, oh, wait, he's like that. It's supposed to be this other character.
Right.
You know, through like a different face. And then I started thinking about it. So when he would go back to being the kid, I was like, okay, do I feel like that's the same guy? And I was like, yeah, no, I do.
Yeah.
It feels sillier coming out of a man.
Yes, exactly.
You know? Yeah.
So yeah, you know, it's just a lot of fun. I know that people are upset over the use of the word fun, but you got to call it like it is. I think it's a nice. I mean, you know, things are going to be heavy with Avengers Endgame,
right?
And I like that there's room in the marketplace for different perspectives on this genre.
Yeah, I agree.
So do we want to talk some spoilers?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Spoilers.
Go on.
No, I just I wasn't familiar with his story, and it's funny when you mentioned that Shazam is, you know, a fairly old character and story. It does feel like the details of this world come from an older sort of storytelling sensibility, where there's like a wizard involved and the seven deadly sins and you know, those sorts of things. But I kind of the movie made it work, and I dug that it was you know, in Philadelphia, like it wasn't in some sort of like metropolis sort of area. I think that's a sort of a new detail, right?
Yeah, it's in the comics. He lives in a place called Fawcett City.
Okay, interesting.
And we see
You can imagine where the writer came up with that, right? Sitting at his typewriter, looking around his apartment.
Well, no. So here's some backstory, Brian.
Oh,
So in the comics, Captain Marvel was originally published by a company called Fawcett Comics. Captain Marvel was not originally DC. DC Comics sued Fawcett Comics because Captain Marvel at one time was so popular he was outselling Superman.
wow.
So DC was like, well, he's a strong guy with black hair and a cape. You guys ripped off Superman. And F you guys. So, which is kind of like, it's not Superman. He's clearly not,
Right.
But they Fawcett didn't have the money to go up against what was at the time National Comics, and so they went under. So the Captain Marvel went away, and then the copyright the trademark lapsed, which is why Marvel picked up the trademark of Captain Marvel and created their own Captain Marvel.
Interesting.
Meanwhile, DC bought Fawcett, and so they bought the Captain Marvel character, but they couldn't use the name Captain Marvel. So instead they were like, oh, the comic will be called Shazam, because that's his magic word, but he'll still be Captain Marvel in the book. But what's happened for like 30 years is everyone's like, oh, Shazam, because that's what the book is called. So he's Shazam,
Right.
and everybody just says that. So, and then Marvel, Carol Danvers became more popular in the last like 5 years. So DC basically threw in the towel. They're like, fine, he's Shazam.
Sure. Well, yeah.
So this
All right.
it's the equivalent of like, no, the monster is just the monster, the doctor's Frankenstein, and eventually being like, the monster's Frankenstein too.
Oh, that's a really good way of distilling it. Yeah, there you go.
That's basically it.
And regarding Fawcett City, I'll just shut my mouth.
No, but that's so DC gave his city the name Fawcett City in like the 90s as an homage to the original comic company.
Yeah. Well, that's
you know.
hey. See, this is why I come here for this sort of.
For nerd talk. So you'll see, like, they go to Fawcett Central High School or something like that in the movie, and that's an homage to that. So even though they're in Philadelphia, they go to like Fawcett.
I didn't notice that.
Fawcett High or whatever it is. Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, the only thing I would say about this movie, and it wasn't even that big of a deal, but I found myself less interested when we were with the villain.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree with that.
I almost could have done without him and just enjoyed the sort of big story of a kid becoming a superhero. I realize you have to have it.
Yes.
But I was completely all in anytime we were with him and his friend figuring things out. And especially there's this whole sort of story, and it makes sense where you have a kid suddenly given all these powers and he becomes really cocky.
Yes.
Right? And he's taking selfies with people, and he's at the top of the Rocky steps shooting lightning in the sky. And I love how he caused that bus accident. And it made me uncomfortable because I was like, you look like a jerk.
Yeah.
I was like, well, yeah, I mean, he's 12.
Right.
And it was a lesson for him. And his friend, I love how he points it out, where he's like, yeah, I just saved this bus. And his friend's like, yeah, because you shot it with lightning.
Right.
So I really enjoyed that sort of growth, or the arc that he had. That was a lot of fun. And interestingly enough, when you were talking about some of the stuff feeling like out of a horror movie, I felt the same thing with the demons. I was like, wow, these demons are really kind of gnarly.
Yeah.
For what feels like an otherwise semi-light kind of movie. But then I looked it up and I saw that the director is a horror director. I was like, there it is.
Which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
He and I mean that scene when Dr. Savannah like unleashes the demons on the boardroom.
The boardroom, yeah.
That is dark.
That's a dark scene, yeah. Watch.
He throws his
people.
brother out the window. He has his father killed. I mean, that's messed up,
It made me really uncomfortable, actually, when he threw his brother out the window. And then, hearing when that guy was out in the lobby and he sees all those people dying behind frosted glass, it was maybe because the movie wasn't hyper stylized, it feels a little more realistic. You're like, ooh, that's kind of.
See, but I think all of that is really necessary. You need that really dark underpinning to sell the stakes.
Oh, I agree. I wouldn't change it. It's just I think I wasn't prepared for it,
Yes.
and then I was like, okay, well, this is. I wasn't sure what I was walking into. I wasn't sure if I was walking into a kids movie or, a movie for adults that kids could enjoy.
Yes.
And I'd say it's somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle. I agree with that. I mean, I think, again, I took my 5-year-old and he was fine, and he's been running around saying Shazam for the last 2 weeks. So clearly the movie worked on the level it's meant to, which is I think the character is pure wish fulfillment.
Oh yeah, sure.
Like even more than Superman, it's this idea of I just need to say a magic word and I can become somebody entirely different.
Mm-hmm.
That's something whether you're a child or a child at heart, you can relate to that.
Totally.
And so the stuff that I really dug into was, and this is something, I've talked about before, Brian. I really like it when these types of films expound a higher morality.
Yes.
And I think that's what these characters should be. They should be beacons for us, and I think this notion of, why does Billy help people? Why does he do the right thing? Well, it's because that's what you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then, the payoff to me, and this is like an applause moment in my audience, is when the family, the foster kids all get powers.
Oh my goodness. I loved it.
Right?
That was so satisfying. Yeah. And then beginning with them going through that door together, I was at first like, oh wow, these kids are gonna like do something. And I figured they would just be held hostage and he was going to have to save them or something. But I love, that they became participants. And they all had, you had the kind of the quieter kid and you had the really cute girl that has a big heart and
And they're all good. Like that's what I liked about all of the kids.
I completely agree.
They're selfless. And so, and this is the other thing, right? It's like the message of the movie is so sort of antithetical to the superhero mystique, which is I alone, I'm the one man who can know it. But here's it's like like this, right? Like like when we were having our third kid or our fourth kid, the previous one would always be like, you don't love me anymore, or whatever. And my wife would always say, no, that's not how love works. When you meet someone new, you just love more. There's no shortage of it, And to me, it's that corollary of like it's the goodness in your heart is something that Billy's able to share, and it doesn't make any one of them weaker. It's just now all of them get to share in this thing. Does that make sense?
That. Yeah, no, it makes total sense.
Like it's that's the thing. Like Dr. Savannah's like, give me this thing, I want it all. But Billy's like, no, I'm going to share it with all of you.
Ah, that's good. Yeah, I don't know that it had really occurred to me, but that's completely there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why, that was an applause moment, because I think it's an earned moment. Like we spent time with those kids. And so when that happens, it doesn't feel like a gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
And all of when they all become their super characters, they're evocative of their persona, their personalities.
Yeah. I loved when the youngest one.
Yeah, she sees Santa
Claus.
Yes.
Yeah, that was so
She's
funny.
like, I've been a good girl. And he's like, what?
Yeah, that was really cute. Oh, the moment that I laughed at really hard was when he had the staff. He's like, all right, hold on and say my name.
They're like, Billy!
And they're all like, Billy! I don't know. I was like, that's so funny.
Dude, by the way, Zachary Levi impressed the hell out of me in this.
Yeah, very, very likable. Seeing a man behave that way could either be charming or really annoying.
Yes.
And I feel like he was the perfect take on that.
Well, and the fact that he sold a very ridiculous-looking costume.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Like, the characters laugh at him, but we don't think he looks silly.
That's true,
I think it's a trick. The other moment I wanted to bring up, which I think was surprisingly dark, is when Billy finds his mom.
Yeah, I was not expecting that.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I guess we're behind the spoiler wall. It's basically that his mother
just didn't want it.
Let him get lost on purpose. Or he got lost as a little boy, but then she saw that he was with police officers and figured it was just too much for her being a mother, so she abandoned him.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that like you don't expect to see in a movie like this, right?
No.
And I appreciated that they did that because I think the way the scene played, it juxtaposes the reality, the real version of what happened with what he remembers.
Yes, yes.
and it's played slightly differently. But also, like when he hands her the compass, and she's like, "What is this?"
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
hate you so much, Mom."
Yeah, yeah. And then what does he say? Something like, I think you might need this more than I do.
You need it more than me, right?
Yeah.
And so again, but the message there about like, he's like, I got to go back to my real family, right? And I love that it pays off. I love that this movie isn't about like what's going to happen 5 movies down the line. If you never get another one, you've got
Yes.
right?
Alita.
Right. Exactly. It's like,
Yeah.
no, we've got a complete story here, and I'm perfectly fine with it,
Yeah, I just want to add to that what you were just saying. I like the foster parents too. I like that they
parents,
were
yeah.
good people and not someone that he had to sort of run from or hide from. I liked that this movie just has a big heart.
It has a big heart, yeah, and that right. I think that's what I kept coming back to. Like even the scene where Billy as Shazam and Freddy are talking, and Billy's like, oh, you're just jealous or something, and he's like, yes, I am.
Yes, yeah,
Like, don't you realize I would love to do what you do,
yeah,
And I mean, there was like real moments of that character. I really liked him because you see how his just snark and whatever. It's just disguising this hurt kid.
yes,
And it just everyone has their own hurt that they're trying to cover up.
yeah. So basically, whenever we watch a movie and we go, yeah, that was fun, but wouldn't it have been nice if they had built out this, or if it just gone all in on having the heart? Why not? Blah blah blah. Like Shazam did it.
There we go.
Right? Good side characters, good humor, good heart, gets a little sinister, but that just makes the stakes feel real.
Yeah.
You just leave with a smile on your face.
Well, I don't know what else I can add to that.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we both enjoyed it. And we should say Mark Strong.
Mark Strong is strong
villain.
as always.
Yep. She agrees.
Yeah, she's very excited. So Brian, this is before we wrap up our Shazam discussion. I wanted to mention all the little ways that this does tie into the DC universe. We were talking about Joker, how that kind of sits aside. That's not meant to be part of the universe. This one is like, yes, it's part of the universe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the Superman illusions and all those sorts of things, right?
Yeah. Well. Okay. So there was that Superman cameo at the end. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, do we even call it a cameo? I don't know.
Cameo light, maybe.
Cameo-ish, yeah. So that was supposed to be Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
And his, he's still, like, in flux whether he's going to come back or not. So his Shazam cameo, his Shazameo, if you will. I'm very proud of that. That was one of the casualties of that. But the Superman that we see cut off at the neck is wearing the Cavill suit.
Right.
Right? So clearly this is meant to exist within that universe. Mm-hmm. So that's cool. And then there was the post-credit scene. Well, there's two post-credit
you don't need to explain
scenes.
This one to me.
I figured this is.
Actually, I literally leaned over to my friend and he goes, "What's going on?" I was like, "This is one of those things where I'll ask Zachy later." And that literally happened.
You know what's funny? I kid you not. When I because I've seen it twice now. The second time I watched it, I was like, I have a feeling I'm going to be explaining this to Brian.
Yep.
I'm not making that up. That's really funny. So Dr. Savannah. So this is mid-credit sequence. That's what we're talking about. I'm assuming, right? Mm-hmm. So Dr. Savannah is like in prison, and he's like all cuckoo bananas, and he's drawing stuff on the wall, and he hears a voice. And who is the voice? It's this weird like worm-looking guy, right? Mm-hmm. So that worm is called Mr. Mind.
Okay.
And he is Shazam's like greatest villain.
Okay.
And so there was a whole story. Now bear in mind, the Captain Marvel comics were like exceptionally kiddie, like even back then when comics were mainly for kids.
Right.
So I mean, the Captain Marvel comics were so kiddie in the 40s that they made Superman comics in the 40s look like Watchmen. You know what I mean? So there was a long running storyline called the Monster Society of Evil, where like Captain Marvel is like being come after by like all these bad guys, and their leader is this mysterious guy, Mr. Mind. Who's Mr. Mind? And we find out who's Mr. Mind. He's this little worm with like a loudspeaker.
Yeah.
And so obviously you can't have that be like the premise. So they've added this whole thing, and he says something. He's like, because when Dr. Savannah sees him, he's like, "What in the name of God?" And he's like, "No, I named the gods." Mm-hmm. That's what Mr. Mind says. So they've like come up with some kind of weird backstory for him. I have no idea what any of that means. However, that scene is directly out of a comic that Jeff Johns wrote in 2012.
Oh, funny. Okay.
Yeah, so they So in when they did the New 52 DC reboot, so they rebooted Captain Marvel then, right? And that's when they changed his name to Shazam. So he's only technically been called Shazam for like 5 years.
Oh, wow.
6 years. And in that reboot is when they made it that all of those other kids are the Shazam family.
Okay.
Right. So originally, you had 3 members of the Shazam family, and it was the Marvel family. It wasn't the Shazam family. You had Captain Marvel, and then Freddy becomes Captain Marvel Jr., and then Mary, who is his real sister originally, not his adopted sister, becomes Mary Marvel.
Okay.
And
that sounds all so familiar. I think I had like a book of this when I was really little.
I'm sure,
Yeah.
And they had like Billy's uncle, who's like this pudgy W.C. Fields looking guy. He becomes Uncle Marvel. Mm-hmm. And then there's like this tiger that gets like talking powers. And it was all really bad. Oh, and a rabbit, Hoppy, the Marvel bunny.
Okay.
I'm not making any of this up. So
Yeah.
So Jeff Johns obviously was like, well, all of that is really a bad idea. So why don't we make a play for diversity? Mm-hmm. And so everything in this movie about how that whole family, the Vasquez family, and all the adopted kids, that's like brand new. That's 2012 and on.
Okay.
And I think it's great.
I was going to say, I thought that worked really well.
It worked really well. So that scene, though, specifically where Dr. Savannah is in prison and he's cuckoo bananas and then Mr. Mind talks to him, that's like the teaser at the end of the like this origin story that he created. So this movie is a very, very hews very close to the re-origin that Jeff Johns wrote like 5-6 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So all the stuff with Dr. Savannah and that being said, the main ingredient that's missing from this movie, which is a key factor in the comic, is the character Black Adam.
Yes. So, yeah, you're going to have to explain that to me.
Okay. So Black Adam is alluded to in this movie, and I don't know if you caught the reference.
Probably not.
So Black Adam is to DC what Magneto is to Marvel.
Okay.
Kind of like this very flawed, tragic villain, yes, but like an anti-hero. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Complicated. He's complex, Brian. Like teenage girls would love him because he's so complicated. So he is the original champion that Shazam chose.
Okay.
So
I like where this is going.
You see it in the movie where he's like, the first person I gave my power to misused it, and he used it for revenge, and he unleashed the 7 sins.
Oh, okay.
And we see it as like a thing, you know? Mm-hmm. Like through, shimmery, sparkly stuff. And so I'm watching that, I'm like, oh, dude, that's Black Adam. That's great.
Uh-huh.
Right? And so something happened. Like he's an ancient Egyptian. And essentially, he took the power. He was chosen for his righteousness, but it corrupted him. And something happened to him, right? So in the comic books, Black Adam is Shazam / Captain Marvel's arch nemesis.
And for just people who follow movie stuff, I mean, this was something Dwayne Johnson's been circling, right?
Exactly, right? So Dwayne Johnson remains attached to a Black Adam movie, and of note, he's an executive producer of Shazam.
I noticed that, and
Yeah.
I wondered what that was about.
So clearly, they've played their cards very close to the chest, but they have every intention of making that Black Adam movie.
See, now that's completely smart, and it's what we were also saying is at least they made one film that stands on its own.
Yes, exactly.
Right? Established it. It's not leaning on anything that is to come. It perfectly sits by itself, but it also has seeded things, and if this succeeds, which it seems like it will, then we can keep going, and that's great.
That's exactly right. What I like is that, notwithstanding the little thing with Mr. Mind, which, you know, if they follow up on it, they follow up on it. The Black Adam thing, they didn't. That's the true definition of an Easter egg, where it's like, oh, if you know what he's talking about, that's cool.
Right.
But there's enough there now where you could do. I mean, I love the idea of a Black Adam film that's set entirely in his time, that has no direct connection to Shazam, the movie Shazam, except in the sense of us being like, oh, this is the backstory. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, later on, if they do like a Shazam versus Black Adam movie, that's cool. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I fully expect. I mean, if this movie performs the way they're saying it's going to perform, then that's all the excuse they need to greenlight the Black Adam movie.
Right.
And I'll tell you, I mean, if you Google what Black Adam looks like, it's like a no-brainer. Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Just Google the character. Like, oh, of course.
Well, that's. I remember a while back. Didn't he reach out to his fans, like his Instagram followers? He's like, what do you guys think? Should I be Shazam or Black Adam?
How funny.
Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny too? That's how his decision making. And what do you think, world?
And the thing about that, to be honest, he would have been great as Shazam too.
Yeah, I can picture that also.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but definitely, I love that they've seeded. Like this is the thing, right? I think the problem with so many of these like universe movies is they rely on like they put stuff out there like, ooh, this will be a great movie one day. Ooh, this will be a great movie one day, instead of worrying about the movie itself.
Yeah.
Right. So The Mummy is like the most egregious offender.
Yeah. Right.
Right. And what I like with I think the DC folks have finally figured out, like, okay, let's just one step at a time. Mm-hmm, you know, and then let's see how things go.
Yep. Well, I mean, the restraint was strong with this one.
Yeah, I agree. So you know, that was the stuff that jumped out at me. I mean, the stuff that ties in with the universe is very subtle. You got Superman is there, and it's clearly Henry Cavill Superman. So we know this exists among all of those other characters. We got the Mr. Mind tease for Shazam 2, if that ever happens. And we've got the little Black Adam, not even a tease. It's just a little Easter egg. Mm-hmm. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. And it wasn't even that distracting to me.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have a ton of questions. It's something that would be sort of rewarded for me once it is to come, and then I rewatch this, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that's a good place to leave our conversation about Shazam. What do you think?
Sounds good. Glad we both enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too. And it's been very gratifying to see just the reaction online. I mean, it feels like people are sort of discovering it, which is fun, you know?
Yeah.
But as we wrap things up, I want to remind everybody to please check out our new commentary tracks that we have coming this month. We're going to be talking through The Karate Kid for its 35th anniversary, and we're also going to be talking through the first Avengers movie.
Yes.
The first Marvel Avengers movie, not the Ralph Fiennes, Uma Thurman Avengers movie.
Oh. Well, apparently I was confused.
Have you ever seen that movie?
I haven't.
It's amazing.
I know it has such a reputation, but
I was in the theater opening night.
Oh wow,
for that. That's a true story. and it was one of those. It was one of, when I think back on it, it feels like a dream, because the movie's just so bizarre.
Yeah,
you're like, that couldn't have been in the movie, you know, like.
Really? It kind of makes me curious.
There's a scene where the bad guys are having like their bad guy meeting, and they're all at a table, but they're trying to disguise their identity, so they're all dressed up in giant teddy bear costumes.
Yeah, this rings a bell. Like, I've heard this referenced, you know, when this movie is brought up about how crazy it is. That's
yeah, that's just one example.
Yeah.
It was chopped to just within an inch of its life. Like whatever intentions that the director had just went out the window.
Yeah.
But regardless, that we are not commentating on that movie. That's my point. We'll be talking through the first Marvel Avengers movie. And in addition to that, Brian, I know you got some stuff going on. You want to hype up?
Well, I write for a Disney show called Puppy Dog Pals, which airs on Disney Junior. And I'll say this. The episode that airs today, April 5th, it's called Roughing It. It has a real deep-cut Simpsons joke in it. And if you can find it, I think you'll be pretty happy with it.
I'm excited. As for me, you can find me at my website, Zackie'sCorner.com. That's ZAKIS Corner. That's also my Twitter. That's also my Instagram. I also want to remind people to please check out and subscribe to the Nostalgia Theater podcast. The latest episode features my conversation with Lost writer-producer Javier Grillo Marxwatch. And we talked about a bunch of stuff. We talked about a show called Boomtown, which I adore. And Brian, I know you liked that show too. Did you listen to that episode?
I did, yes.
Oh. Okay, so hope you can vouch for the Boomtown talk.
Oh yeah. It gets. He talks about a lot of shows that I have been very interested in, and he says very interesting things about them. So I mean, it's like Zachy gets to the stuff you really want to hear, and that's why I really enjoyed it.
That was a really fun conversation for me.
Yeah.
Also coming up this month on Nostalgia Theater Show, I'll be talking to writer-director Kenneth Johnson, who created the series V, and he also executive produced the Alien Nation TV series. He also directed a Brian Hall favorite, Short Circuit 2, which I got him to expound upon at great length, and I think I'm looking forward to Brian hearing that.
I absolutely cannot wait. Anyone who has worked with Johnny Five, I want to hear everything they have to say.
He's the guy. He's the Johnny Five whisperer, right?
Yeah.
He's the guy who made it happen. And also, please, I want to remind everybody to write a review up at iTunes. Leave a star rating. Every little bit helps. Also, if you have any questions or comments for us, please email us at moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com. You can also hit like on our Facebook page, facebook.com/moviefilmpodcast. We love all the comments and everything that you send. Whenever there's a commentary, I'm always fascinated by the people who really plug into those. Like the commentary tracks are yeah. My daughter's a big fan of the commentaries. She's sitting in bed next to me, hugging a plush Spider-Man doll, singing to it. So this is my This is my daughter. Is that Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that Spidey? Yeah. She just whispered, "Yep."
I heard it. Yeah.
But that wraps up Movie Film 169. We'll be back soon with our next episode, and we will also be back soon with our next commentary episode. So please keep listening, and thank you. Catch you next time.
Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. Enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.
All right, Brian, spoil away.
Well, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Okay, I'll start over. Cut.